For over 40 years, psychologist Dr. John Gottman has conducted groundbreaking research into what makes marriages succeed or fail. Through meticulous observation of thousands of couples in his Love Lab at the University of Washington, Gottman and his team discovered they could predict with over 90% accuracy which marriages would end in divorce. His research methodology was remarkably thorough. Couples were filmed having everyday conversations and arguments while sensors measured their physiological responses like heart rate and sweating. By analyzing these interactions frame by frame, Gottman identified specific communication patterns that reliably forecast relationship outcomes. Some behaviors, when they become habitual, act like warning signs that a marriage is in trouble. Other patterns indicate a strong, healthy relationship likely to endure. What makes Gottman's work so valuable is that it moves beyond vague relationship advice to provide concrete, scientifically validated indicators of marital health. His findings offer couples an objective way to assess their relationship's strengths and vulnerabilities, along with practical strategies for improvement. This research has revolutionized our understanding of marriage by demonstrating that divorce isn't random or inevitable, but rather predictable based on observable interaction patterns that couples can learn to recognize and modify. Of all the destructive behaviors that can undermine a marriage, contempt emerges as the most corrosive and reliable predictor of divorce in Dr. Gottman's research. This toxic communication style goes beyond ordinary anger or frustration to convey a fundamental disrespect and superiority toward one's partner. It manifests through subtle yet damaging behaviors like sarcastic remarks, mocking tones, dismissive eye-rolling, cruel name-calling, or belittling humor. What makes contempt particularly insidious is that it attacks the very core of a person's worth rather than addressing specific behaviors. While anger might express temporary frustration about a situation, contempt communicates a more permanent judgment. You are worthless. Gottman powerfully describes this behavior as sulfuric acid for love because it systematically dissolves the emotional bonds between partners. When contempt becomes habitual in a relationship, it creates an environment where one or both partners feel chronically devalued and disrespected. This erosion of mutual respect and safety makes it increasingly difficult to maintain intimacy, trust, or even basic goodwill toward each other. The presence of regular contemptuous interactions is such a strong predictor of divorce that Gottman's research team could identify it with remarkable accuracy simply by observing brief snippets of couples' conflicts. Unlike other negative behaviors that might be worked through, contempt often signals deeper relationship problems that, if left unaddressed, frequently lead to the complete breakdown of the marital bond. Through his extensive research, Dr. Gottman identified 4 particularly destructive communication patterns that serve as reliable predictors of marital breakdown. These behaviors, ominously termed the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, each represent a different way couples can undermine their relationship during conflicts. The first horseman is criticism, which occurs when complaints about specific issues escalate into personal attacks. Rather than addressing a particular behavior, "I'm upset you didn't do the dishes," criticism makes sweeping negative judgments about one's partner. "You're so lazy and inconsiderate." This global blaming creates an atmosphere where partners feel personally attacked rather than constructively challenged. Defensiveness emerges as the second horseman, representing our instinctive self-protection when feeling criticized. It manifests through excuses, counter-accusations, or playing the victim. "Well, if you weren't so nagging, I might help more." While understandable, defensiveness prevents couples from taking responsibility and working toward solutions, instead fueling an endless cycle of blame. Stonewalling, the third horseman, appears when one partner completely withdraws from interaction. This might involve the silent treatment, avoiding eye contact, or physically leaving during arguments. Often a response to feeling emotionally flooded, stonewalling nevertheless leaves the other partner feeling abandoned and unheard, effectively shutting down any possibility of resolution. The fourth and most destructive horseman is contempt, which communicates disgust and superiority through sarcasm, mockery, name-calling, or hostile humor. Unlike the other horsemen, contempt attacks the very worth of the other person, making them feel despised. Gottman found this to be particularly poisonous because it erodes the fundamental respect necessary for love to survive. While all four patterns damage relationships, their cumulative effect is especially devastating. They create a toxic communication climate where conflicts escalate rather than resolve, emotional distance grows, and partners increasingly view each other as adversaries rather than teammates. The presence of these behaviors, particularly when they become habitual ways of interacting, strongly predicts relationship deterioration unless couples learn to recognize and replace them with healthier alternatives. At the heart of every thriving relationship lies a deep emotional connection that serves as an anchor during life's storms. This invisible bond, cultivated through countless daily interactions, creates a safe harbor where partners feel valued, understood, and accepted. Dr. Gottman's research reveals that this emotional attunement, the ability to stay psychologically and emotionally present with one's partner, forms the critical foundation that determines whether relationships flourish or fail. What makes this connection so powerful is its dual nature. It grows stronger through both joyful moments and difficult conversations. Couples who maintain strong bonds don't avoid conflict, but rather have developed the ability to navigate disagreements without severing their emotional ties. They've mastered the art of fighting well, addressing issues while simultaneously preserving mutual respect and affection. This creates what Gottman calls emotional bank accounts, reservoirs of positive feelings and goodwill that help partners weather inevitable conflicts. The magic of this emotional connection manifests in subtle but profound ways. A knowing glance across a crowded room, an inside joke that sparks shared laughter, or the simple comfort of being truly seen by another person. These moments of attunement build what researchers call relational immunity, the relationship's ability to withstand stress and adversity. When partners consistently turn toward each other emotionally, they create a virtuous cycle where connection begets more connection, trust deepens, and intimacy grows. Gottman's work shows that this emotional bond isn't about grand romantic gestures, but rather the accumulation of small, everyday moments of attention and responsiveness. It's built when partners put down their phones to really listen, when they remember to ask about something that worried their spouse yesterday, or when they offer comfort during stressful times. These micro moments of connection, repeated over time, form an unshakable foundation that allows love to endure even through life's greatest challenges. At the core of every strong relationship lies a delicate interplay of emotional connection and repair, what Gottman describes as the micro moments that build lasting bonds. Throughout each day, partners make countless subtle bids for connection. Those small gestures or comments that seek engagement, affirmation, or shared experience. Whether it's pointing out a beautiful sunset, sharing a funny meme, or simply making eye contact during a conversation, these bids represent opportunities to strengthen the relationship. When partners consistently respond with genuine interest and warmth, what Gottman calls turning toward these bids, they create an accumulating reservoir of goodwill and emotional security. This ongoing responsiveness sends a powerful message. I see you, I value you, and I choose to connect with you. Equally important is the ability to repair after inevitable conflicts or misunderstandings. Even the healthiest couples experience moments of tension, but what distinguishes thriving relationships is their capacity to mend these ruptures. Repair attempts can take many forms: a gentle touch after an argument, a sincere apology, a humorous comment to lighten the mood, or simply saying, "Let's start over." These moments of repair prevent temporary disagreements from hardening into permanent resentment. Gottman's research reveals that successful couples maintain a magic ratio of about 5 positive interactions for every negative one, with repair attempts helping to restore this balance after difficult exchanges. Over time, this pattern of consistent connection and skillful repair creates what might be called relationship immunity, the ability to weather challenges without losing the fundamental bond. The couples who master this rhythm develop a profound sense of security, knowing that even when they stumble, they have the tools to find their way back to each other. Contemporary relationships must navigate unprecedented challenges that previous generations never faced. The constant presence of digital devices has created a new form of relationship neglect, where partners may sit together physically, yet remain worlds apart emotionally, distracted by screens and notifications. Smartphones, social media, and streaming entertainment compete relentlessly for attention that should be directed toward one's partner. creating what researchers call technofrance, the interference of technology in meaningful interpersonal connections. This digital intrusion is particularly damaging because it often happens unconsciously, gradually eroding the quality time that forms the bedrock of emotional intimacy. Compounding this technological challenge is a cultural shift toward radical individualism that prioritizes personal fulfillment above relational commitment. Modern society increasingly frames relationships as vehicles for self actualization rather than sacred bonds requiring sacrifice and compromise. This me first mentality manifests when partners evaluate their relationship primarily through the lens of what they're getting, rather than what they're building together. The paradox is that this self focused approach often backfires. Research shows that relationships thrive most when both partners adopt a we first perspective, viewing themselves as teammates working toward shared goals rather than individuals competing for personal satisfaction. These twin forces of digital distraction and hyper-individualism create a perfect storm for relational dissatisfaction. Partners may find themselves physically coexisting yet emotionally disconnected, each pursuing individual interests while their relationship withers from neglect. The solution lies in conscious resistance to these cultural currents, intentionally creating tech-free zones and times for undivided attention, while cultivating a mindset that values relational investment as the path to true fulfillment. Relationships that successfully navigate these modern challenges often emerge stronger, having developed intentional practices of connection that previous generations might have taken for granted. Gottman's research reveals a crucial truth about relationships. Early recognition and intervention can prevent minor issues from becoming major crises. Like catching a small crack in a foundation before it spreads, addressing negative patterns early preserves the structural integrity of a marriage. The moment partners notice persistent criticism, withdrawal, or sarcasm creeping into their interactions represents a critical window for change. Seeking professional guidance during these early stages, before resentment hardens into contempt, dramatically increases the chances of successful repair. Couples who develop emotional awareness and learn healthy communication tools during relatively stable periods build resilience that serves them during inevitable storms. This proactive approach transforms potential relationship killers into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. The culmination of Gottman's decades of research offers not warning but hope. Relationships are living systems that can heal and grow stronger with intentional care. Lasting marriages aren't accident or luck, but the result of daily practices that nurture connection. Small, consistent choices accumulate into powerful patterns. A gentle touch when passing in the hallway, genuinely listening instead of waiting to speak, finding humor in shared imperfections. These moments create what Gottman calls the sound relationship house, a structure built on mutual respect, appreciation, and shared meaning. The most transformative insight may be that conflict itself isn't the enemy of love. It's how couples navigate it that matters. Partners who learn to disagree without contempt, to repair quickly, and to continually rediscover each other create marriages that don't just endure but flourish. In an age of disposable relationships, Gottman's work reminds us that the deepest fulfillment comes not from finding the perfect partner, but from choosing each other imperfectly, day after day. The marriage that lasts isn't one without storms, but one where both people commit to being shelter for each other through all of life's weather. If you found this breakdown of Dr. Gottman's research helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more science-backed relationship advice. Turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could help strengthen your love life.